What is up, YouTube family? Hey, today is Thursday, February 9th, and today we're going to be talking about the three things that I have struggled with in the last 5 years, business wise, life wise. They're all kind of interconnected. When you get into a business, you realize that it's a lot about life and how people think and all this other stuff that you weren't aware of. So, we're going to dive right into that with the first thing that I've struggled with for the past 5 years, and that is discipline and focus. Um, I think they kind of go hand in hand because if you're not focused, then obviously you're not remaining consistent and disciplined. Um, why I say that as my number one is because these aren't in no particular order. These are just the three things that I think I struggled with the most. But I put this one first because I think that it applies to a lot of people, and just being able to remain consistent on a day-to-day basis, um, and just put in the work even when you don't feel like it. That's the biggest part. You know, I always thought being a business owner, being your own boss meant you get to have freedom. You get to do what you want. You get to work when you want, and that is true. But in the beginning stages of a business, you are pretty much a full-time employee. You're working all aspects of the business. You're working a lot more for a lot less money. Um, and and that's where I think people run into problems because they think that, a business is going to be easy. Well, newsflash, it's not easy. And if it was easy, everybody would do it. There's a reason why business owners make a lot more money than just somebody who goes and works for somebody else. If you're at a job right now, you're working for a business owner. Go talk to your CEO or talk to the person that owns the place, and I guarantee you they're going to tell you the struggles they went through and that it's not easy. It's a day-to-day thing. You have to show up every day, even when you don't feel like it. Now, I think there is a way to practice this, and I think if you're somebody that struggles with discipline and focusing like I have, then these could be some ways that you could build on that. So rather than, everybody makes their goals in the beginning of the year and they stay disciplined for maybe a week or two and they realize that they can't do it. Why is that? Well, it's because they're either overloading themselves with too many things. That just goes back to focus. You need to focus in on one thing. If I'm trying to learn three languages at one time, I'm gonna be okay in every language. Like I can pick up on stuff in all three languages, but I'm never gonna like master it to the point where I can speak it fluently unless I focus in on one specific language, and that applies to everything in life. So, for example, how I'm practicing discipline and how you can too is working out, getting up early in the morning, even if it's, go for a jog or do something hard in the morning that at least your brain fights you with, right? We each have two voices in our brains. One is saying to do the hard shit, and the other is basically the little bitch voice saying, don't do it, it's too hard. And how we can achieve things is make sure we're dominating that little bitch voice in us. If you wake up in the morning and you say, I don't want to go to the gym, those are the days that you're going to be tested. Those are the days that you need to push the hardest. It's not the days that you wake up and are like, yeah, let's go to the gym, I feel so good. um, it's it's not going to work like that, because on the days that it does get hard, you're just going to not go. And those are the days that people are counting on you to show up. And 80% of success, 80-20 rule, is showing up. You have to show up day in, day out, put in the work. And that's what I struggled with. Some days I would show up, some days I wouldn't, some days I'd want to do something else. And that's not going to work in business. If you pick something, stick to it and grind it out. that's my mindset now. Uh, so that's kind of what I have my thoughts on discipline and focus for that first one. The second one kind of ties into it, but it's just being lazy and complacent. When you have an opportunity in front of you, you need to pounce on it. You can't just sit around and wait around and, go from thing to thing. That's not how it works. I feel like I had a big problem with just chasing the money. I'm like, oh, well, I can make more money over here. Oh, I can make money over here. Well, the truth is, in today's world, there's so many things that you can monetize, and it goes back to like the language thing. If you don't focus on just one in the beginning stages, if you don't focus on how to make money, like you don't know how to make money, and this is me personally, I didn't know how to make money, and I'm over here trying to start 3 different businesses to make money, like, so they all suck. Like, that's how it works. So if I were to go back and do it again, I would pick one thing, and just focus all of my energy and attention on that, build that into where it is, you're able to delegate out, you're making money, you actually know how a business works. And then if you want to pivot, then that's the time to pivot. That's kind of the second thing I struggle with. And the third thing that I struggle with, and I think this will be like my biggest barrier to get over, is just overthinking. Not taking action due to overthinking. I feel like in the past, I just, even till this day, I really try to know everything before I jump in, if that makes sense. Like, I'll read, I'll study, I'll do everything to figure out exactly what it is I'm supposed to be doing before I jump in. And that might be helpful to some people, and like, it's not a bad thing to study, but I never took the action, right? I was getting like mental masturbation of all this stuff, to like all this information, but I was never applying it. And what's that quote? It's like, applied now. It's not knowledge is power. It's applied knowledge is power. So that's kind of where I got it wrong in the past, is just thinking that just because I have all this information and knowledge, and then I'm going to be successful. Well, the best way to learn is to experience. So yeah, I may have all this knowledge of reading and theory, but I guarantee you I'm way behind somebody who was just jumping into that, jumping off the cliff, going and diving right into whatever they wanted to do. And you're going to get a lot further in life by doing that than just reading books and focusing on theory and thinking. And, another part of that is, I would think that I just didn't know enough, right? I could never know enough. And that's a good mentality to have, but like I said, you need to apply action at the same time. You can't just study, and then never take the test, or, you know what I mean? So that's kind of my thoughts on those. So the 3 things that I've struggled with: discipline/focus, laziness, overthinking. If I were to go back and do it again, I would totally pay attention to those things and just start doing action, guys. Like, start hopping in, learning shit. It's okay to fail. It's the best way to learn. Society has made it so taboo to fail, thanks to the school system. The school system gives you an F, and you're looked at badly when you fail. And it's like, well, you tried, and if you tried your best and you still failed, is that bad? Not in my opinion. So those are kind of my thoughts for this Thursday morning. I hope you guys can develop some discipline, stop being lazy, and definitely stop overthinking, because life should be simple. Like, the more simple you make it, the better it's going to be. With that, guys, I'll catch you tomorrow. Go after it. Get after it. Let's go.